Hey everyone, Real here, reeling in fishing. What a beautiful morning, early May. I'm out here on Kalamalka Lake. I'm going to share techniques and tricks to use this time of year. Let's go. There we go. Alright, so when you're putting your gear in the water this time of year, it's really important you understand what kokanee are doing and what they feed on. So I've said this before, but kokanee feed almost entirely on plankton. And plankton are very water temperature sensitive and sun sensitive. So in the sunny morning, as the water temperatures heat up, it's going to push the kokanee down. Now the nice thing about fishing for kokanee in the spring is the water isn't stratified, meaning there isn't a thermocline layer yet, which gets more technical and you need downriggers. But this time of year, because the surface temperature is about 55 degrees and kokanee love 50 to 54 degrees, you can expect to find kokanee shallower in the water column chasing the plankton. One technique that's really common, especially when you're fishing the surface of the lake for kokanee, is what's called a lake troll. Right? It's typically about 4 feet long with a bunch of spinner blades on it and a guide at the front to keep it running straight. Pretty simple, not very expensive, $13 or so. Gives lots of flash and lots of vibration. So remember, kokanee feed on plankton. Most people think, why do kokanee hit a lure? It's because of aggression, and it's a reflex strike attack. So vibration, scent, and flash are important. Color, something bright colors. So onto the gang troll, what I'll do is I'll attach, you can see, a micro hoochie. This is one of my favorites for Cal Lake. Again, there's a link in the description. It's got a smile blade on the front of it. It's orange, chartreuse, bright. And then I'll tip it with corn and some imitation magnets. Alright, so I'll show you how I set up my micro hoochie with bait. So remember, flash, vibration, bright colors, and now bait are really important to trigger that aggression bite on these kokanee. So this particular hoochie has a 2-hook setup, a stinger hook setup, they call it. So what I'll do is I'll start off and I'll put a piece of corn on there, kind of like that. Then a pink imitation maggot. So it kind of looks like that. That's on the stinger hook. And then I'll do the same on the front hook, right? Pretty simple. So now, there you go. Your hoochie set up with corn and imitation magnet. If you're interested, check out my YouTube channel. There's a video there on how I make my own corn. I've, over the years, kind of fabricated a scent and a recipe. Might help you out if you're interested in making your own. Alright, lake troll and a micro hoochie. Now I want to talk about leader length. So leader length I refer to as the length behind your flasher or your lake troll and the lure, the hoochie or the plug or whatever you're running. So if you think about it, if you have a flasher moving your setup, the longer the leader, the less action on your lure. Shorter leader, the lure is closer to the action, right? So that's important to think about. Sometimes the kokanee are on an aggressive bite and they're looking for a lot of action. So that means a shorter leader length. When the kokanee are a bit sluggish, and not on an active bite than a longer leader. So for me, when I have a lure out that I'm confident in and I got my bait set up right, and I'm not getting bites, the leader length is one of the first things I play around with. Alright, so talk about some dodgers a little bit. So there's lots of dodgers and flashers that guys use for kokanee fishing. There's the sling blades. These are adjustable, you can bend them. So the more bend on them, the more action they impart. Lots of different variations of sling blades, different sizes. There's some, these Gibbs dodgers are good. This one's got some glow in it, different colors. These tend to put a lot of movement in your bait. So this is trial and error. Some days they like a certain color. Another thing to think about, and you can start collecting different dodgers and flashers and swap them out during the day and see if you can find the right combination. So this is called a kokanee dodger. It's got a lot of glow and flash, so for a bright day like today, really good. Same deal applies, leader length. This leader length I find works really well with this dodger. It's about 18 inches or so. Fishing kokanee in the spring, as I mentioned, they're at the top of the water column. So one technique is to use long line behind the boat. And so what I just did is I put my lake troll out with my micro hoochie that's all baited up, and I let out about 65 feet behind the boat. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip on a 1-ounce weight. There's a link in the comments so you can check out what these look like. So they just clip on your line like that. What they'll do is they'll bring your line down, and the heavier the weight and the slower you go, the deeper your setup goes. So I'm targeting the top 20 feet or so this morning, so I got a smaller 1-ounce weight. What I like about this setup is you can buy different weight sizes. This is a 2-ounce, and I'll use up to a 3-ounce. So a 3-ounce will get you down to about 30 feet at 2 miles an hour. A 2-ounce will be 20 feet, and a 1-ounce 10-15 feet. Hope that helps you. It's a pretty cool trick. So I'm gonna let the line out now. Okay, there you go. So now I'm out about 100 or so, 150 feet behind the boat. There we go. So that's on that micro hoochie I just put on. So notice I'm reeling in fairly fast, right? Kokanee have really soft mouths. If you get too excited, you're going to lose the fish. And I might have already lost them. Let's see. So now I reeled in. I'm up to my clip-on weight. I got to take that off. And now I'm fighting just the fish, if it's still there. I think I might have lost it. Yeah, I lost it. That's fishing, you don't get them all. I want to talk about downriggers, kokanee fishing with downriggers. So what I personally like to do is let out about 65 feet of line. We'll do that now. Then I hook the line onto the downrigger clip. This is my clip. It's pretty simple. Clip it on right to about the black line. This is a Scotty downrigger clip. Right to about the black line on it. Then I caught that last fish at 25 feet. So like I was saying before, water temperature is cooler. They're chasing plankton. Right now with the sun out, plankton is starting to bloom at the top water levels, 20. Feet or so, 15, 20 feet. So I'll let the line down now 25 feet. You release your reel. Okay. Then you engage your reel. And you'll notice that I tighten the line up onto the downrigger clip, so the rod is preloaded. Alright guys, so I guess that's a wrap for today out here on Kalamalka Lake. Managed some beautiful kokanee. I hope there was some tips and tricks in there for you to use. So next time you're out, you have a great day as well. Don't forget, check out my channel. Leave comments if you have any questions. I try to get back to everybody. There's also some links to the gear I use in the comments. And don't forget, get your corn on video, check that out. See how I make my fire corn and get these kokanee. I'm Real Russo, this is Real Fishing. Let's go!